Good morning, this is Lily Mayo.
And Maggie McCarthy with WVUD News.
Top stories at this hour. A Dover pain doctor has been charged with felony healthcare fraud after state investigators say he repeatedly billed agencies for services he did not provide. The Delaware Department of Justice says in a news release that Dr. Sanad Semerlik was arrested September 22nd on 6 counts of felony healthcare fraud. Semerlik is an anesthesiologist and owner of ABG Pain Clinic in Dover. The department says that after receiving a tip on the fraud, the unit performed a lengthy investigation into Semerlik's billing practices between November 2012 and September 2013 at the clinic. The department says it was able to establish and identify extensive patterns of fraud, including billing for services never recorded and submitting claims for services and testing that weren't medically necessary.
Officials say the mother of a Delaware man in a wheelchair who was fatally shot by police has been accused of assaulting a woman who she thought made a 911 call about her son. Authorities say Phyllis McDowell turned herself in on Monday. Students have fared a lot worse on Pennsylvania's new, more difficult standardized math test. Statewide results show a 32-point drop in the Pennsylvania System of School Assessment math test and a 9-point drop in English. The state education department released the results on Tuesday. Pennsylvania Education Secretary Pedro Rivera stresses not to compare this year's scores with last year's, saying it's not an accurate indicator of student growth or academic achievement. The new math standards are widely regarded to be more rigorous.
In national news today, the Kentucky clerk who refused to issue marriage licenses to same-sex couples says she met briefly with the Pope during his historic visit to the United States. Vatican officials did not respond to an email asking for comments early Wednesday. Kim Davis's lawyer, Matt Staver, says Davis met with the Pope Francis last Thursday afternoon at the Vatican Embassy in Washington, D.C. for less than 15 minutes. The head of Central African Republic Red Cross says the capital streets are too dangerous for aid workers to collect bodies and transport the wounded after days of sectarian clashes. Antoine Mbalbago said Wednesday that Red Cross teams have not been able to work since Saturday when fighting began. At least 42 people have died, but because of the chaos, it's difficult to know what the actual death toll is, according to the UN Children's Agency. More than 27,000 people have fled their homes in recent days amid Central African Republic's worst violence in more than a year.
An emu can't fly, but this one sure can travel. An emu that was running wild through New Hampshire for more than a week has finally been reunited with its owner, an owner who lives in Vermont. The Concord Monitor says the owner, Kermit Blackwood, had heard reports about the emu flapping his way around the town of Bow, New Hampshire, but he didn't think it could be his, being that the wayward bird was wreaking havoc some 80 miles from home. Eventually, Blackwood drove out to a non-profit bird sanctuary where the emu was being kept and learned the emu was his. It's currently back home, at least for now. In sports, the University of Delaware will induct its first 19th Athletics Hall of Fame class in a ceremony this Friday. A special on-field halftime recognition will occur the following day at the football game against William and Mary.
And tomorrow night, the Steelers take on the Baltimore Ravens at home. They are currently ranked second in the AFC Northern Division. Kickoff is at 8:25.
Checking your weather at this hour, the cloudy morning continues with temperatures around 75 degrees. Possible showers later in the day with a chance of thunder. Later tonight, temperatures will reach a low of 54 degrees with winds up to 20 miles per hour. With WVUD, I'm Maggie McCarthy.
And I'm Lily Mayo.